But those people who are qualified for coverage will not get their health care cut.
That's not true.
That's okay.
That is not true. Read the bill. Don't start pushing out this Republican bullshit, because it's Republican bullshit.
Trump has already shut down the government, and all this is doing is bringing to everyone's attention.
Well, all the Democrats voted to shut it down, though.
That's fine.
Not the Republicans.
This so-called big, beautiful bill was essentially a government shutdown. So all they're doing is bringing the attention to it. So yeah, if you want to say that the Democrats shut it down, yes, technically that's true.
Isn't that similar to what the Republicans said in 2020, challenging the election? And it was considered very dangerous when they did it, and it was kind of cracked down on. Election denial.
Challenge the election if they don't win.
Right, well, both sides do, right?
I haven't heard Democrats do that. I'll tell you.
Hillary Clinton said that the Russians colluded and stole the 2016 election.
Well, that's because they did.
Do you see the two sides of the coin there? Like, it's essentially the same claim. Hey guys, this is Matt Miller with PolitiBrawl. Today I'm here in front of the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., right before the government shutdown. Tonight, 65% of Americans say they do not want Democrats to shut down the government, per a New York Times poll that was released today. We're going to ask these protesters, why do they think it's worth it?
Are you ready for us to hold the line? Are you ready for us to stand strong?
House Democrats, Senate Democrats are going to stand up and fight back and make sure that we
I don't know if you saw, a New York Times poll came out today that said 65% of Americans don't want the Democrats to shut down the government.
Oh.
What would you tell them, 65% of Americans?
Well, I think of it like the hostage groups, people who take a hostage and they get them to do things, threatening to do something if they don't. What's to say that the Republicans aren't going to, they're saying that they're going to fire thousands of people. They will anyway, so I don't see what we have to lose.
One of the biggest items here that is in contest is Affordable Care Act provisions for non-citizens.
But they don't get health care. That is a complete misnomer.
So
they're lying.
Non-citizens do. There's plenty of non-citizens who are getting government health care currently under before the cuts.
But not with the ACA. They aren't covered by that.
Well, ones who are considered to be lawfully present in the country, but they're non-citizens. So that's the Republican point of view here, is they're saying we're shutting down the government and prioritizing non-citizens receiving government health care.
Oh.
In your view, is that worth it?
That's not what they're doing. They're saying that, but they're saying an awful lot these days. And they're trying to save health care for all these millions of people. And my understanding is they're also trying to stop this administration from the rescissions of funding that have been allocated to things. And millions of people are dying because of this. Like in Africa with USAID, people dying every day. And I think we just have to, I don't agree with them.
Do you think Republicans are wrong for wanting to cut non-essential programs and departments in the government to make the government more affordable? Because our government costs a massive amount. It's unaffordable currently. So Republicans, and that's what DOGE was about, they're trying to identify areas where we can make cuts so that we can give those tax breaks back to the American people.
Well, and I would be in favor of that. Clinton and Gore did that. They methodically looked at the federal government, and they cut a lot of jobs from the government. They did a lot of reorganizing, and I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah.
But to bring in 20-year-olds who are computer whizzes and know absolutely nothing.
Well, a lot of them are businessmen. They're very successful businessmen, or they're entrepreneurs. Yeah. Like Elon Musk's team, I don't know if you saw the interview with them, but a lot of them are CEOs or founders, people who know how to balance a budget and manage the finances of a company or financial empires.
Well, they might know things like that, but you have to understand the purpose of the different agencies in the government. You have to understand how they work. And I can't believe that those DOGE people understood the purpose and how things ran in the agencies where they just wholesale let people go.
Is it troubling to you that America's not really for this? You know, the 65% that the New York Times found, that most of America doesn't really support this Democrat effort to shut down the government?
Most of America doesn't support what Trump's doing either. You know, they don't.
Well,
so
he did win the popular vote, right?
well. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but
That's okay, yeah.
you know, Elon Musk claims he won the election for Trump, and I think he did behind the scenes with the computers. And if you look at some of the statistics that came in for some of the precincts during the election, votes changed. You know, I'm not convinced it was a fair election, and he certainly didn't get a mandate to destroy all these things that he's destroying.
Well, a lot of his supporters wanted to reduce the size and scope of government. They wanted to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse. The other thing is, I mean, isn't that similar to what the Republicans said in 2020, challenging the election? And it was considered very dangerous when they did it, and it was kind of cracked down on. Election denial.
Challenge the election if they don't win.
Right, well, both sides do, right?
I haven't heard Democrats do that. I'll tell you.
Hillary Clinton said that the Russians colluded and stole the 2016 election.
Well, that's because they did.
Do you see the two sides of the coin there? Like, it's essentially the same claim that the election was stolen. Conservatives were censored on social media for speculating that, for asking questions. Trump obviously made those claims that the election was stolen in 2020.
And he's still making them, and he's, you know,
but it's similar to what you just said, right?
He's in the White House. He should just shut up about it.
A New York Times poll came out today saying that 65% of Americans don't support the Democrat shutdown. What would you say to them?
I think when they learn the costs that they will face in their health care, in the loss of services that the government routinely provides, often at a very economical rate, whether it's NASA, whether it's other agencies, whether it's National Institute of Standards and Technology, all these agencies provide, in many cases, very excellent services, protecting our health and safety with regulations. When people learn what's going to happen to them and experience that, I think those poll numbers will change.
Okay. So one of the biggest debates about this is the Republicans don't want government health care going to non-citizens. That's what a lot of the cuts were about. Do you think that it's worth shutting down the government so that non-citizens are availed to government health care?
I don't think they have a choice but to shut it down. I think the amount that's going to citizens is far less than the trillions of dollars that we are adding to our deficit in order to give a tax cut to billionaires. That tax cut for billionaires is costing us far more than whatever the immigrants are costing us. And furthermore, the immigrants are providing, in many cases, services. We're not getting whatever criminals Trump claims are crossing the border are far fewer than the number of good immigrants that are providing excellent services that are keeping our economy going. And that's why I'm here.
Okay. So can you qualify that? How are these tax cuts helping billionaires? Instead of Americans, like regular Americans as well.
The tax cuts go disproportionately to billionaires. In other words, I might save a few $1,000s on my taxes, but the billionaires are basically pulling off a bank robbery of the Treasury. It's a heist that's carried out in the full light of daylight, and yet it's allowed to happen. And I think when people realize what it's going to cost them in terms of their health care, in terms of the economic health of the country, when they see how the tariffs are going to fail, when they see the dystopic and authoritarian conditions that we are going to become subject to as Americans, I think people will start to change their minds.
Would you say the same thing to the government employees that are going to be furloughed or fired, that they need to learn that this is worth it?
The one who started firing employees was Donald Trump. Donald Trump has closed agencies. I am a government contractor, and I'm seeing my contracts going away. I'm seeing employees living in fear, and I'm seeing employees that are leaving. They can't do their jobs. They're deprived of resources. Things are shutting down. So this is they started the fight. The Democrats are going to finish it.
Okay. How long should they shut it down for?
As long as it takes, because Trump has already shut it down, and that's what people need to understand. Trump has already shut down the government, and all this is doing is bringing to everyone's attention.
Well, all the Democrats voted to shut it down, though.
That's fine.
Not the Republicans.
This so-called big beautiful bill was essentially a government shutdown. So all they're doing is bringing the attention to it. So yeah, if you want to say that the Democrats shut it down, yes, technically that's true. But Trump shut it down, the Republicans shut it down. That's what started it. And I'm proud of these Democrats that are standing up and that have found their voice.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for giving me a voice.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. There was a New York Times poll that came out today that said that 65% of Americans don't support the Democrats shutting down the government. Why do you think that is, and what would you tell them?
I would just simply tell them that it's not the Democrats who are shutting down the government. It's the Republicans. The Republicans control the House, they control the Senate, they control the presidency. There's no reason why they can't pass a bill.
The Democrats voted to shut down the government, though. All of them did.
No, they didn't. The Democrats voted not to extend the continuing resolution.
As you said, though, the Republicans did pass a bill, the big beautiful bill, because they control Congress and they have the White House, and that does reflect the American people's will because they voted them in. That's why they have the majority.
Yeah, they have a bare majority, and they passed a bill that does not reflect American people's will. And if the American people really understood what was in the bill, which they will when they have to see their health care costs going up substantially, or when they see they lose coverage.
Republicans ran on promising they would not cut Medicaid when they ran. And yet they put that stuff in a bill after they got into office.
So Republicans made cuts to people who, like non-citizens, for instance. That's the biggest debate right now, that millions of non-citizens are getting government health care, and they shouldn't be.
But that's not what they cut. Go look at the bill. That's not what they cut.
That's what this is about. That's like one of the biggest
It's what
points.
it's what they think it's about. But that's not what the Democrats are trying to do. What the Democrats are trying to do is protect people who have Affordable Care Act coverage, whose premiums are going to double under the Republican bill. It's trying to protect people who have disabilities, who are older, who have families that need health care, who are having their health care cut.
But those people who are qualified for coverage will not get their health care cut.
That's not true.
That's okay.
That is not true. Read the bill. Don't start pushing out this Republican bullshit, because it's Republican bullshit.
It's the other side, right? So it's what the other side of the country is saying. It's what those 65% of people think. And I'm just articulating that
because they're getting
in our
their
conversation.
news. They're getting their news from stuff that's running around on social media.
But the Republicans want to make sure that people who came to this country and are here illegally now are not getting government health care. They want to make sure that PBS and NPR, which are left-wing propaganda outlets, are not getting government dollars, taxpayer dollars. So can we compromise on that? Can we agree that those things should not make the government shut down?
First of all, very few places provide Medicaid coverage for people who are here without proper papers. Okay,
Millions.
So it's not true that there's a whole lot of people out there. This bill is not just affecting them; it affects absolutely everyone in the Medicaid program who depend on the Medicaid program to get health insurance coverage. And the business of attacking organizations, nonprofit organizations, but on the basis of their political views, is unconstitutional.
Well, if they're receiving federal dollars and they are pushing one side of politics, and they're biased.
Everybody in the United States who's receiving federal dollars has a political opinion, but that doesn't make them unnecessarily an organization that's devoted to undercutting this country. We have debate. We have different views. We have organizations that push different views. If you want to play that game, then when Democrats are in power, then all the Republican organizations would be
Well,
defunded.
they already did that,
That's
right? It's
not
kind of like
true.
cat's already out of the bag.
That's not true.
But I don't want my tax dollars going to political propaganda for one side or the other. I don't think Fox News should get tax dollars. I don't think PBS and NPR should get tax dollars. So I'm consistent with that.
Well, PBS is not a left-wing organization. It's a news organization. And you may disagree with some of the stuff that you hear on it, like I disagree with some of the things I hear on Fox News, but it's a news organization.
I believe that it came out that like most of the people that work there are Democrats. Like the majority of people that work there, and also like anybody can watch PBS or listen to NPR, or read NPR,
Do you know,
and
it's a funny thing, half the
tilted.
people in this country are Democrats. I mean, why are we fighting, why are we pitting half of the country against the other half of the country? We have a president of the United States who does not represent half of the country.
Well, we can
he
undo
hates
that.
he hates half of the country.
No,
How can he be president of the United States and say he hates half of the country?
He doesn't hate half the country. He hates radical leftists that shoot Charlie Kirk, is what he said. He didn't say he hates half the country. Of course not.
He hates Democrats. He is constantly saying horrible things about people who are Democrats, and half of the country is registered Democrats who are registered.
I understand
are
that. So
registered
can't we
Democrats.
undo some of that political division by making sure our tax dollars don't go to politically
Here's how we
tilted
can,
organizations,
Here's how we can
biased
eliminate the
organizations?
political division. We can have the President of the United States stop dividing the country. Stop talking about people, half of the people being bad people, and the other half of the people being good people. That's not how you represent the American people.
Okay, but conservatives see the bullets flying one way right now, right? And
I don't
left
see
wing
that. I mean, the bullets that I see are coming out of the White House.
coming out of the White House.
I see the bullets coming out of the White House.
Not actual bullets. Like you're using a
But I'm
metaphor.
saying he's using the Department of Justice to go after people who are Democrats because they're Democrats, because they have not agree with him.
Okay, but
That's
when it comes,
not,
you're
that's a
comparing that to
mis-
shooting
that's
people.
Unconstitutional.
You're comparing that to shooting and assassinating people, though. So right now,
I'm-
left-wing violence is at an all-time high. CSIS just came out with a study that said that it's
sorry,
in a
that's-
30-year high.
I'm sorry. I find that to be totally bogus.
That's an unbiased organization. Maybe they can get tax
No, I
dollars.
think- No, I'm just saying. I think that we have seen more political violence, more violence in schools and things like that from people who are, right wing. More if they're more likely to be associated with right wing than left wing. We've seen street demonstrations from left wing. We've seen some violence in the streets where people have
The data doesn't
burned cars, but we don't see left wing people running around shooting people.
The data doesn't support that. So
I
I'm
don't
telling
know
you,
what data you're looking at.
like it's the Center for Strategic and International Studies came out and said that most murders, politically motivated murders, are on the left, and actually right-wing violence is on the decline.
List all of the left-wing political.
The shooting at ICE the other day in Dallas, Charlie Kirk getting his head blown off in front of a crowd of people, the guy who shot Donald Trump, the
Wait a minute, I'm
transgender
sorry.
activist.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, just doing what you just asked, right?
You don't know anything about the guy who shot Donald Trump because they shot him and whisked his body away, and we've never heard anything more about
Hey,
it.
you know what? I agree with you on that. But can we agree that he probably didn't like Donald Trump?
No, I think he might have been paid to fake an assassination.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of a conspiracy theory. I don't know if that's true or not, right? But that's my answer to you is that all those examples right now, so recently this year, it's left-wing violence, people getting killed by radicals on the left.
Where? You're
I just told
talking
you.
about two.
No,
What
they're shooting.
about all the shootings?
What about just?
I mean, there were 4 shootings the other day. They can't all be left-wing people doing them.
Well, the guy who
people
drove
with-
his truck into the Mormon church was a right wing.
Was he a right-wing guy?
He was sure as hell was. Look at what the information
I
is. that's
did.
come out.
Yeah, he didn't like Mormons. He thought Mormons were a cult.
He hated Mormons, and he was a Christian nationalist.
Okay, Mormons are Christian, and
I
they.
know that, but he didn't think they were the right kind of Christians, apparently.
So that's not really political then. It's like a
It
religious.
is political.
It's a religious theological thing.
Because we are fomenting politics on religion. We are trying to push a conservative Christian nation on everybody in the country.
Do you think that Democrat lawmakers who call ICE agents, Gestapo, brown shirts, and Nazis are
Yeah, that's
inciting
about right.
violence? Or if you thought somebody was a
I don't
Nazi,
think
would you
you're
be
inciting
justified?
violence.
If you thought someone was a Nazi or a Gestapo or Hitler, is there no justification then to go and, or you're not trying to make a justification to go and attack that person?
I don't see it as justification for anybody to attack anybody, but it is a proper characterization of the way this government is running the country right now. They're using these agents to go into the communities, bringing in the National Guard to go into communities, bringing the military into communities to go after people
Okay. Murder in
who
D.C. is at
happen
an
to be
all-time low.
brown. Murder in D.C.
Is at an all-time low right now.
It was at an all-time low before anything happened.
It was going down from an extreme high.
It had gone down substantially, and everybody had the extreme high because of the pandemic. Every city in the country had a high crime rate because of the pandemic.
Washington, D.C. was ranked number 4 for homicides. It was the 4th most dangerous city for murders in the country when Trump launched the National Guard deployment. Now, there's virtually no murder.
This is not true.
That's from the Rochester Institute of Technology's data on public
I
safety.
have to
Again,
see
it's a university. It's not Fox News.
Yeah. I mean, I live in this city, and I feel completely safe. I have lived here for 45 years.
Mm-hmm.
I feel completely safe being out anywhere in the city at night. And the
Now you're
National
even
Guard,
Safer.
by the way, is not out in the city. They're on the mall, and they're picking up trash. And I see them in my neighborhood standing around on the street corner, and they're going into a liquor store to get something for a party. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I'm seeing this stuff. I go on the bus, and I see them stand at the corner of 17th or Connecticut Avenue and L. Mm-hmm. And they're just standing there on the corner, walking from one side of the corner to the other.
So,
there's
you
no
think that-
crime there.
Okay, yes. Do you think that their presence here in D.C. has made things safer? Because
No, it's
as
kept
soon as they
people- it's
arrived,
kept people indoors.
the murders disappeared.
No.
That's not true either.
Virtually, they disappeared. Yes.
It's not true either. I mean,
But every source I've given you, and that's just like public safety data.
I want to see. Look, first of all, public safety data doesn't get compiled that fast. This is coming out of the White House. I would like to see data coming out of the police department on what the crime rate is here.
Well, they
It
report
was
daily
already
on
low.
murders. It was the 4th most dangerous in the country. Washington, D.C. had a major crime problem, and that's why he wanted to do what he did. So,
No, that's not why he did what he did.
why did he do it?
He did what he did to do exactly what he wanted to do, was to stick his thumb in the eye of the Democrats. He's gone to every Democratic city with a Democratic mayor, and he said, you have a crime problem, and we're going to send in the National Guard. Memphis, Louisiana has a huge crime problem. I mean, there are several other cities in this country who have a far worse crime problem.
So right now it's Portland.
Nobody's going in there.
Portland, it has left-wing violent gangs that are attacking ICE agents right now.
That's not true.
I have friends that are on the ground there, sending videos. I have been on the ground in D.C. when they were rioting and burning down the city. Antifa is real.
Was photographed like 6 months ago.
No,
Everything that they're showing about Portland.
That's
Talk
not
to
true.
the mayor of Portland. Talk to the governor of Oregon.
I have several friends right now that are out in the riots, disguised, scared for their lives, because Antifa will attack them and beat them, or worse.
Well, we have to. Yeah, I know. We have to see riots. I want to see evidence of riots.
Andy No, Katie Davis
I want to
Court.
see current video, not
Yes.
stuff that was filmed
If
6
you
months
check,
ago.
if you check it right now, if you check the internet right now, Twitter, YouTube, it's all right there, directly from the independent reporters, not corporate media that's bought and paid for by the Democrats or the Republicans, but it's people, my friends, independent journalists that are there right now that are in danger, and they're documenting what's going on. Left-wing Antifa radicals are
Antifa
attacking.
isn't even an organization. It's not an organization.
Take it from me,
Trump
I've been
thinks it's
attacked
an
by Antifa.
organization.
It is. They are a real
When they
violent
wear
group.
uniforms, how do you know they're Antifa?
It's called Black Bloc. Yeah, they wear all black, and it
A lot
goes
of
back
people
to.
wear all black.
I want to hold you up. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good night.
Tell me what he does that's good for the American people.
So a lot of people are concerned about the 10 to 20 million undocumented people that came to this country when our border was wide open. That's an unprecedented amount of migration all at once. Never in our history have we had that many that fast come in. We don't really know who most of them are. Most of them are brilliant people that want to be Americans. A lot of them came here because we have such a robust welfare system, and some of them are criminals, unfortunately.
But they aren't deporting criminals. I mean,
They're deporting criminals and people who came to this country illegally, just like a trespasser breaking into a building or a house. That in itself is a crime, right?
Right.
So I would say his addressing of that. Now I know it's pretty heavy-handed with ICE, so I understand people disagree.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
But we consider that to be a good thing. Conservatives or Trump supporters like what he's doing to handle immigration, to undo that wide open border.
don't though. I mean, there are a
Of
lot of
course.
people who aren't supporters.
Do you know of any other country in the world where you can go undocumented or cross the border without being tracked or going through their proper channels, where then you're allowed to stay indefinitely? I think every other country in the world has a border, has an immigration system. Why can't America have that?
I'm not saying they can't have a system, but I mean, I understand this administration has fired a huge number of immigration judges, and they're, replacing them with military judges that they don't know immigration law. And I think it's bigger, to me it's bigger than the immigration thing and torturing people that, that Alligator Alcatraz, that was obscene. So I think we have to agree to disagree on this.
Fair enough. But hey, I really appreciate the great conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm one of these people, my whole life I've wanted to understand opposite viewpoints of mine, even if I don't embrace them, I may feel completely different, but I like to understand. But with this administration, they don't care about facts, and they don't understand why they're supporting things. And, what about Trump and his family making billions? Jimmy Carter sold his peanut farm. There used to be an emoluments clause where presidents could not get rich. And look at this guy. The caps, the shoes, you name it. He's selling everything under the coins.
Okay, but it's Donald Trump, right? He's a businessman.
Yeah, so he doesn't have any business being
But
in the presidency.
who gets hurt? Who gets hurt selling shoes? And really, most of his financial assets are run by his sons.
Bullshit.
It's by his family. So he is doing that correctly. It's not him that's making all these decisions with his insider information. His sons are handling.
What's your hat say? Oh, Lord.
I can send you one for free if you want.
No.
Pick up the Doge hat today, guys.
No, I do not care for one, but thank you for the offer.
Well, thank you again for the good conversation. I agree with you. We got to have conversations. And
Absolutely.
I know if I didn't convince you, that's okay. But I love a nice, respectful debate.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I agree.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
Hey, guys. So we're just leaving the Democrat protest right now here on Capitol Hill. There really wasn't that many people there, and it was definitely at least half media, so there wasn't a lot of people to talk to. We did get a couple good interviews that I was happy with. So I just think that it's very interesting that, they know that most of this country does not support this shutdown. They think everyone else is uninformed. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed and maybe learned something. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, and make sure to pick up the Doge hat at basebuy.shop. Link in the description. Pretty stylish, I have to say. One of my favorite hats. It always gets recognition. So thank you guys again for watching. Thank you guys for supporting PolitiBrawl. I'll see you next time.